Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you. I really appreciate you coming back. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy hanging out with me for a little while and spending some time being a geek about tarot cards and all things esoteric. It's kind of what I do on my channel. And tonight I want to do a little show and tell walkthrough of an oracle deck that is very, very season appropriate as we are in fall and in between. We're in Mabon season, headed soon to Samhain season, and I'm going to do a video. I've seen the hashtag decks into the descent, which is all about this time of year, so I'm definitely going to pull out a bunch of decks and do a show and tell and little talk about several different decks that are very appropriate to the season and this time of year. And as I was kind of thinking about and going through decks, one came to mind that I haven't used in forever, and I'm like, oh my gosh, now is the time. And it is an oracle deck. I have this weird relationship with Oracle, but I'm being called more so than ever to use Oracle. I'm such a tarot person, but I'm being called more and more to use Oracle. And I think Oracle can be a great clarifier. Now, I know some readers who do all Oracle readings and light in progress. I am being called more for Oracle as part of my daily journaling process. And and I'm feeling called to start doing it as clarifiers in readings for clients. So I think I'm going to start leaning into and actually doing that as I'm being called, pick up the phone and actually answer the call and do something with that. So this deck is an independently published deck, and it is by, the creator's name is Kiki, and that's all she goes by. And she created this deck because she loves all things fall, all things autumn, and October is her birthday month. And I miss Kiki terribly. She had such a strong presence, and she was one of the formative people as I was really starting to take my tarot journey into the direction of looking to become a professional reader as opposed to just reading for self and a tarot enthusiast. And she was such a big part of a particular time in my life as I found her online when I had a very serious accident and was injured and had a lot of time on my hands, unfortunately. And she used to have a blog, and she's taken everything off of the internet. She was not a fan of social media at all. And that was still when MySpace was around and the internet was a much, much nicer, much cooler place. But she has removed she had told me, she said, I'm going to go completely off grid. And unfortunately she has. And Kiki, if you ever see this, every time I hear the train, I do think of you and I miss you. And she used to do deck reviews, and she was a wonderful tarot reader and really wonderful person. So she created several decks, and now that I'm saying this out loud, I'm realizing that maybe I'm going to include her decks in the hashtag decks into the descent video I'm going to do, but I'm going to, I think, just make an all Kiki deck video. She's created several oracles. She loves all things dark, spooky, and horror movies and things of that nature. And so the deck I'm going to do tonight, a little talk with you about, is the October Oracle. And it is a round deck. God, do I hate round decks with a passion. I'm sorry, guys. For those of you who like a round deck, I know, for example, the Mother Peace deck, there are people who adore that deck. light and progress. If that's your jam, you like it, I love it. For me, I am not at all a fan of round decks. They're just awkward to shuffle, awkward to hold to me. But this is a round deck. And the backings are so, look at that, just the beautiful, rich jewel tones and everything about just the colors and the vibrancy, the autumn leaves and the beautiful purples and violets and all that. It really just speaks to the month of October, and because October, so she chose to use a round deck for that. And in this deck, there are 31 cards symbolizing the days, and 31 days in October. And I'm just gonna grab my iPad here to look on her site. So you can get this on makingplayingcards.com. I will leave a link in the description box below, and any of her other decks. So the October Oracle. And when I went to look this information up for you guys, like I said, I'll just have the link, but if you Google it, I had to put in October Oracle by Kiki. Something else came up. So I had to put in the October Oracle by Kiki in there. So as you know, with playing cards, you can buy one single deck or you can buy things in bulk. This deck is, if you buy a quantity of 1 to 5, because that's how they do things on Make Playing Cards, different increments as far as quantity. So individual 1 through 5 decks retails at $38.95. And, there are 33 cards. I don't know why I thought there were 31, but there are 33 cards. The card stock is really good card stock. Hold on, guys. I'm pretty sure I counted out 31 cards. And as I'm looking at this on Make Playing Cards, there is some conflicting information. It does say number of cards, 33. Then further down underneath the description, a 31 card deck that allows you to carry autumn with you all year long. There's no accompanying book. You are encouraged to use these images and titles to guide your intuitive reading of the cards. So I think that was a misprint. I think it's 31 cards. So I got the smooth and glossy. If you watch my channel, you know I really like glossy cards, and I know I'm in the minority on that. But it does say applies to all card stock, $38.95 per deck, applies to all card stock options except Linen Air Light, M30 and M32 Linen Air. Carries a minimum of 1,000 decks. My goodness, Kiki. So pretty much, unless you're going to buy 1,000 decks, it's going to be the smooth kind of glossy cardstock, slick cardstock. It comes in a white tuck box. So, and her name is the Bohemianess. So I will leave that. She does have 2 really lovely Lenormand decks. Very different energies on either one of those, and the Haunted Oracle with really cool black and white photography. So I'm going to do a whole Kiki deck. But back of the deck again, and there are no numbers, so it just is. So this first one, Ritual, and I think that's so beautiful. What a beautiful ritual altar space. And a witch out in the woods on Samhain, honoring the dead, candles lit. And I think I love how it speaks to, the part of being a witch that is such an integral part of being in nature, embracing the 4 elements of nature, and the ritual, which could be, even burial. It's such a sacred ritual to bury the dead. Diversity. my fingernail out the way here. And all the beautiful different colors, and how each one is unique and different, but each beautiful. Diversity, deception. So as you can see, it's photography. Isn't that great for deception? The mask, smoke. Rejuvenation. Kiki is a pluviophile, which means someone who loves rainy days. Not a big fan of the sunshine, but a huge rain fan, and Kiki loves rain. So rejuvenation, and I love how the one with the black and white has that one red umbrella. And you know, rain rejuvenates life. The veil, how ethereal and beautiful, very reminiscent, and brings in the vibes of fae and otherworldly energy. Tranquility. God, I miss fall. I miss fall so much. Perspective. Look at that little precious night puppy. Isn't that beautiful? Reminiscent of the Hanged Man in tarot. Winds of change. Superstition. Black cat. So as you can see, a lot of these can have, you know, there's no reversal with a round card, but you can get a lot of meaning of either shadow and light or upright / reversal kind of mindset. Shadow. And that beautiful reflection with all the light around it, because you can't have shadows without light. Beautiful cobweb, and I love how there's that iridescent rainbow. Trap. Kind of tangled web do we weave. Horror, because Kiki. And this is so Kiki. A nice cotton linen dress with, you know, a butcher's knife. Death. Darkness, and I love how for darkness she has this beautiful Milky Way, finding the light, finding guidance and hope and inspiration in the darkness. Tradition, is that what that one is? Yes, tradition. The pumpkin. Pause, and this beautiful park bench with the leaves just sitting there. Just taking a moment to sit, to pause, to reflect. Protection, rain boots. And I am a big fan of jewel tones, so this deck is just so hygge, which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing, so anyone from the Nordic countries, please feel free. But hygge, that whole concept of self-nurturing and coziness and warmth, and cozy lush blankets and curling up with a good book and a cup of coffee or a cocoa, but just that feeling of sanctuary and comfort. Spirits. And an old house. Fun, childlike wonder and playfulness, how children can see and create something. You know, an adult might just say, oh, that's a leaf, but this little baby is like, Mommy, look, a mask for Halloween. Loss. I love that. The mist, the beautiful cemetery, and moving through that time of transition and whatever loss, you know, loss of summer, loss of a loved one, but being able to finally make peace with things and bury whatever needs to be buried. Home. Oh, beautiful Victorian mansion. Reflection. Blood moon. I'm hearing in my head, killing moon. Brum. Cleansing. This old-fashioned broom. Offering. Oh, look at this fire. God, look at the absolutely vibrant, living, breathing entity that is this huge bonfire and an offering. And what things can we offer to the flames for transition or transformation, transmutation, beauty? What's that saying that spring is, autumn is nature's bouquet, or, oh God, I forget what it is. They say something really cool comparing of how springtime flowers, but autumn is when those beautiful jewel tones. Look at how gorgeous that is. And sometimes just having beauty just for the sake of beauty is inspiring, is healing in its own right. Omen, said the raven, nevermore. Simplicity, beautiful candelabra. Release. As the trees release their leaves, what do we need to perhaps let go of? Intention in the cauldron. Any act done with intention is a magical act. And the last card, illumination, with the lantern. So I can see where, if, you know, you can see, obviously, for this time of year, this deck is absolutely perfect. This time of transition, and since the card flipped out, I'll see what that is and we'll do a quick read. This time of transition, and I can see where this deck could be used if you're a person who works with liminal space energy, who works with any of the spirits or the goddesses during this time, particularly Hecate or Persephone specifically, where these, or if you work with nature spirits, the dryad spirits, you could lend themselves to this deck. For self-reflection, journaling, this deck would be perfect. Putting it on your altar space and using it to activate that energy and bring in the energy of whatever's on the card on an altar space. Some people do seasonal altars. This would be great for that. And again, as clarifiers to tarot. So the card that flipped out is Rejuvenation, with the old-fashioned lantern in the background and the one red umbrella. And how rain is life-giving and it's rejuvenating. And perhaps whoever is seeing this needs to remember that maybe they are going through, quote, a rainy season. Maybe there is that feeling of a dark cloud over your head, but how can you transform that and see that as washing away whatever doesn't serve you, or the rejuvenation that water brings, and how it can be annoying and irritating when we have to go out and deal with rain, but at the same time, how rejuvenating and how much it gives life. So that has been a walkthrough of the October Oracle from the Bohemianess, Kiki. And if you would like a copy of the deck, like I said, it'll be in the description box, a link for it. And if anybody has this deck, I would love to know if anybody has this deck. And I do love supporting independent publishing companies or independent deck creators. I definitely do buy from the big publishing companies, but I love supporting a small independent business, and especially someone who is as good of a human being as Kiki is. So until the next video, blessings everyone.